Okay, welcome everyone. Welcome. We are live. This is Rabbi Mendy Hecht of Chabad of Ourselves North. This is our Purim, Laws of Purim class number 2. Thank you all for watching. We're just going to give it another few moments while we make sure Facebook is up and all the other media platforms. Any questions, you're welcome to ask in the comments below. Let us know where you're checking in from. Sorry for the delay, 1 second over here. Getting there. We are getting there. It's taking time to load. Second here. We are connected. We'll give it another second. Again, sorry for any delay. Thank you, Eliza, for watching. Welcome, and all of our viewers. Share it, please, with your friends and family and groups. Important to spread the awareness, teach people Torah, let people know the laws that have to be, how we have to keep the laws. Very important. So we are holding by Halacha class number 2 in the laws of Purim. We spoke about last week the fact that it's important to make sure that this week, Parshat Shkalim, it's called the Parsha of Shkalim. And why are we reading this portion this week? It's the week right before we enter the new month, Other 2, the second month. Let me know if anything goes static over here, anyone. Just let me know, comment below. See, this is a little bit staticky tonight, and that's why it took us so longer to get on. So just let us know if there's any issues, and you could always change to YouTube. YouTube, I think, is running smoothly tonight and clearer too. So You could always go onto our Torah channel on YouTube. So this parsha, this portion, this week, we actually add a Torah. We add a Torah, meaning to say we take out 2 Torahs. So we do 7, and then we do an 8th in the mafter in this shkalim in the second Torah. Baruch Hashem, we have to thank Hashem. We have to actually thank my colleague, my affiliates, Rabbi Mordechai Hecht, for providing us with an additional Torah. Of course, to thank the original Torah loan, Gemach, Rabbi Ben Zion Chanowitz of the Torah Gemach, for giving us the first Torah to use, and then again thanking Rabbi Mordechai Hecht of Chabad of Anshe Shalom Chabad of Harstos, our affiliates, for providing us a second Torah to use in such times. Again, also for loan, and we're hoping and praying that we have a Torah still sitting in our ark, and that needs legs and needs to be fixed up, and hopefully it could be for just not too many thousands of dollars, and we will also keep you posted about that. But Baruch Hashem, we have 2 Torahs this week, and the purpose of reading the second Torah is in order to be able to do the regular sacrifices of the day-to-day sacrifices, which was the Tamid, the sacrifices of the morning, of the regular sacrifices of each day, and the communal offerings. So this is when, on the first of Adar, this is when we were taught of this ruling, of this rule, of this obligation. And because of the first of Adar, we were told about this. Therefore, either we read it on Rosh Chodesh Adar itself, or we read it on the Shabbos, which is prior to it. That's the rule. And because we're entering the second month of Adar is the time when we read these portions, not in the first Adar, because we have a leap year. So therefore, now, because we're entering the new month, therefore we have to read this portion. Not to forget that it's also the new month of Adar. So it's a very special Shabbos, besides the fact that it's Shkolim. Of course, because of that reason, it's also the new month, and that's why we're doing Parsha Shkolim. So it's a very, very special Shabbos where we bless them, where it's blessed the second month, and of Adar, which is the month of joy, the ultimate joy with Purim. It's the month, the month of leading into obviously Nisan, which is Nisei Nisim, double Nun in the month of Nisan, which refers to double miracles, from a joy to miracles. So it's a very, very special month, and firstly because of Purim. And we read this parsha, we read this portion of Shkolim. We said there are 4 portions. We read this one as the first one because of its timing when it was taught to the Jewish people at the time, to bring the half a shekel for the purpose of doing the sacrifices and all the important things that were necessary in the temple. And being so, that's why we do it at this timing. We mentioned as well, not to forget, that the portion of HaChodesh, which we read prior to the month of Nisan, there we're going to actually have to read 3 Torahs. Why? Because we also have the Rosh Chodesh as well. Rosh Chodesh as well is going to fall out in such a time where you have to read it on Shabbos. And that's why, because of that, being that we also have to read the portion of HaChodesh, which is the last of these 4 portions that have to be read before, in the month of Adar, before the month of Nisan. Therefore, we're going to end up reading 3. We're going to read the regular portion of the week. We're going to read this HaChodesh portion, and which we discussed last week, and we're going to read the Rosh Chodesh portion. So there'll be actually 3 Torahs being taken out, and we'll have to figure out how to have our third one as well at that time. But that's just to summarize what we mentioned last week, at least in regards to this week's Shkolim. We're going to go straight to the laws of Tainus Esther, the laws of the fast of Esther. If anyone has any questions, please ask. In the days of Mordechai, in the days of Mordechai and Esther, the Jewish people, sorry, I'm going to take away some of the stuff here because it seems like everything is getting very easier to broadcast. So we shouldn't have, seems like there's a little bit of a delay here. To get rid of that delay, see if this helps. Let us see if this helps. If we fix the issue or not, but it's going to take too long. I'm going to leave it. We wasted enough time right now. The laws of the fast of Esther. Okay, this is going crazy. Seems like it is going to vanish again. I don't know if there's delays on Facebook. That's going to be for you guys to decide, but something's going really crazy here. So the laws of Taanis Esther. For those of you that can't see it on Facebook, please go to the YouTube. We advertised it. Go to the YouTube link, and it is there. The laws of Taanis Esther, the laws of the fast of Esther. In the days of Mordechai and Esther. Oh, I think we're doing better now. Hope. The days of Mordechai and Esther, in the days of Mordechai and Esther. The Jewish people gathered together on the 13th day of the month of Adar, to stand on their souls, on their flesh, on their to be able to live, and to fight from their enemies, to fight their enemies. Basically, to protect themselves, to be able to live, and not, God forbid, be in a position where they are in danger. So what did they do? They had to pray to God that God should help them, and they shouldn't have to, God forbid, get sucked up with this terrible decree. What do we find? When they were in this war, when they waged this war, they actually fasted. That God should help them. And even Moshe Rabbeinu at the time when he your live video has ended. It's not true. I never asked to end my live video. One second. Something's going wrong here. Okay. So I think we were done. We are done. Really think. think that we are done here with this Facebook. Just end it on me. Try again. I'm gonna turn it back on. Why should people miss out? Copy. Start again. They say that when you have all these gadgets and all this social media, it's sometimes more of a waste of time. I have to say that I experience it unfortunately too often. But as we see, a lot of times this is the way of communication today, especially when we're trying to bring people closer to Judaism. Something's going totally off here. Something's totally crazy, but we're gonna try once more. We're gonna go live and we're going to share it quickly. So anyway, as we were saying, sorry for any delays again. In the days of Mordechai and Esther, in the days of Mordechai and Esther, the Jewish people were gathered on the 13th day of the month of Adar to stand, basically to wage war against their enemies and to protect themselves. They had to ask mercy from God that He should help them. And what we see is at the time is when they were in this Mulchama, they fasted. They literally fasted that God should help them. Even Moshe Rabbeinu, at the time that he was waging war with Amalek, he also fasts. Therefore, we have to say that most probably also in the time that they were waging war with those that wanted to kill them, in the days of Mordechai and Esther, for sure, they were also fasting. And because at the time of war, it was Yud Gimel, it was the 13th day of the month. Therefore, we have what we call like a Masorah, or a special important thing that we have to fast. And that's what we call the Tainus Esther, the fast of Esther. And therefore, so we say, therefore, therefore we everyone together made this day as one, as a Tainus Tzibur, as a communal fast. In order to remember that the God, the Creator of may His name be blessed, sees and hears all the prayers, the prayers of each person in this time of need. That when a person fasts and he'll return to God with his full heart, with his complete heart, just like that he did, just like God did for our fathers then. So meaning to say, we have to sort of represent that and bring that to life in order that we should realize that the same way then people would get together, Jewish people would get together and fast. And when they were fasted with a complete heart and did tshuva and repented, God answered the prayers. So too, we have to sort of act that out now too, in order to really see that in our own lives. And sort of it's a way of showing our belief that Hashem is going to really answer us as well. This fast, we say, is not such an obligation. Like the other Tanesim, like the other four fasts that we have. We have the 10th of we have the Yom Kippur, Shivas B'Tammuz, the 10th of Teves, And Tisha B'Av. So those ones are very strict, and the law tells us that we have to really, really go the extra strength to keep the fasting. But here, this one is not as strict, and we say that also here it is okay in the time of need. For example, a person who's pregnant, or a person who's feeding, or even if the person has a little bit of a, how do you say it, a little bit of a hurting eye. That if it's going to start hurting too much, he won't be able to, meaning he shouldn't fast. They shouldn't. And also a person who just gave birth the first 30 days. And even a chassan in his 7 days, we say the Shalom Brachas. They don't have to fast on Tainus Esther, we believe it. We say they should make it up afterwards. But don't forget that all those that are otherwise healthy, they should not take themselves away from this communal fasting. They should be important. It's important that they should fast. Even if the person is going on the way and it's hard for him to fast, nevertheless, it's still important for him to fast. I just want to mention that this class is in memory of my dear cousin, my first cousin, Aaron Yosef ben Hanani Sinei David, who was shot on the Brooklyn Bridge today, exactly 25 years ago. Amazing Shem Heaven Ali was shot by a terrorist for just because he was a Jew. And it teaches us that we have to stand strong and proud as Jews and do the right thing. And may his Neshama have an aliyah. May God avenge his blood. And we should only see happy occasions here on, and may the Torah learning that we're doing right now be in his memory. Aaron Yosef ben Hanani Sinai David. May his father live and be well. And he was actually shot on the Brooklyn Bridge while visiting the Rebbe. The Rebbe had a surgery and he was coming back from the Brooklyn Bridge after the visit in the hospital in Manhattan. And that's when this Arab terrorist went and shot on the ramp. And if you look today on the ramp, there's an Ari Halberstam memorial ramp, which was put up ever since then throughout the ramp by his dear mother. May she live and be well. She has fought very much against terrorism and many other important things, which we could discuss more at a different time. The famous museum is her museum, the Jewish Children's Museum, etc. She does a lot of good for the world, for society, in his memory. Shechol Yom HaPurim, B'Yom Aleph. When the Purim day happens on a Sunday, so then you have to do the Tainus we said the day before, right? We said it's Yud Gimel, it's 13. So if the Purim day itself is your Dalet is on a Sunday, then you can't fast on Shabbos. Do you fast on Friday? No, you can't fast on Friday either. It's wrong to fast on Friday because you're preparing for Shabbos. We never fast on Friday in such cases. So what should you do? You should do it on Thursday. If it's Thursday, it's still okay. You're preparing for Shabbos, but Thursday is still okay. And then he says, and if there was a bris milah, they should make the su'udah, the special feast. If it was on a Thursday, let's say there was a bris that Thursday, you should make the feast at night. So you should fast during the day and make the feast at night, even though we don't recommend usually to do a bris or the feast later. We usually say do the bris on the feast in the morning. But in such a case, you should do the bris in the morning and make sure to do it in the morning. That's important. But the su'udah, keep to the night and don't eat till then. Allah Sandik says, But the Sandik and the Avi and the father of the son, Torin Lechel, they are allowed to eat. So the Sandik, which is a special honor that he gets for the bris, and the father of the child are allowed to eat that whole day. And certainly the being involved. Even on the Thursday, they don't have to fast. What if another person forgot and he ate on that Thursday? He says that he should end up fasting on the Friday if he forgot. We say that the congregation doesn't say Anenu, the special blessing on a fast day in the middle of the Amida prayer, that is called Anenu for a fast day. It doesn't say it in the Shachris in the morning when he says the Shemona Esrei, the Amida, but he says it only by Mincha in the bracha and the blessing of Shema Koleinu Hashem Elokeinu. But when he repeats the tefillah, he says it, when he says it for the congregation, the Amidah, he should say it also both by Shachris and by Mincha. The bracha b'fnei atzma acher Goel Yisrael, and its own blessing after the bracha of Goel Yisrael. And he should say that one even if there are only 3 people that fasted. And another 7 making sure that 8 less than the amount. That there's a specific amount that you are required to eat to be considered that you broke your fast, that you ate. If you ate less than that amount, then he's still considered, then it's still okay. If there isn't this amount, then the person who is praying for the Amud, for the community, he shouldn't say it in the Shachris, he should only say it in the Shema Koleinu. Sorry, I shouldn't say it by the beginning of Shacharis. Excuse me. Then you should say it he should say it actually not in the morning, not in the beginning of the prayers by Shachris, like we mentioned he should if he had the amount of people, but he should fast it, but he should say it's like he would do by Mincha in the Shema Koleinu prayer. What if the person who's praying for the community didn't say the Sanenu special for the fast day, and he remembered before he said God's name, Reifei Chile, before from the bracha of Reifei Chole Am Yisrael, before he said Baruch Atah Hashem Reifei Chile Am Yisrael, what does he do? He repeats and says Anenu V'Rifa'inu, so he could actually go back. Before, if he didn't say the bracha, the bracha, the God's name of the next bracha. But if you remembered after he said God's name, so he finishes off the blessing. And then he should say Anenu again in the bracha of Shema Koleinu later on, like he would do by Mincha. He says and then Shemei Tefillah. What if you forgot to say it there too? This is very important. If you're forgetting, this is what you're going to do. So now it's important to hear what he says. If you forgot it there, he should actually say in the bracha by itself after the Sim Shalom Tova Vracha blessing. Of course, it's important probably to make things simpler to look in the book while you're learning these laws and see what we're referring to. Any questions? Please ask. Then he's talking about, so this was for the person who's reading for the community. What if a person, personally, while he's praying in the Mincha prayer, we said he has to say it as well, and he only remembered after he said the God's name of Shemei Tefillah. So then he should say it's by before the last Yul he should say it there. It says also a person who didn't fast, he should not pray even by the Amud. If he didn't fast, he should be careful to be honest and not go if someone asks him to. He could either say he doesn't want, he doesn't have to say maybe why, but if he doesn't mind saying to the person why, he could say to the person because he's fasting. But obviously sometimes for some people, or for many people, it's embarrassing to say that you didn't fast, even though people make mistakes, and even though it's such a lenient fast. So he should decide already how he wants to, but he shouldn't go before to pray for the people. And if he went, if something went wrong, we're back live. Okay. So you should say it in the Shema Kileinu like the Yochid would. And you shouldn't say B'yom Tim Tani Sin or B'yom Tim Tainis Hazeh. You shouldn't say it's like my fast because he didn't fast. And then we say also, because it's a tainis or it's a fast day, there's slichot, the special slichot we're meant to say. You meant to say it after where we're banging our chest and we say all the al-chetz and everything. Before Alvinu Malkeinu, we say slichot. If it's on a Tuesday or a Thursday, we say it before Shomei Yisrael. And we also don't say Kelar Chapayim, okay. On this communal fasting, we read in the Torah in a special portion by Eichal, both by Shacharit and by Mincha. Very important, and that's why if you're able to hear the Torah portion on these days, even though it's not a day of reading necessarily, but because it's a fast day, it's important to read. And even if it ended up on a set of Monday or Tuesday or Thursday, which usually on Monday and Tuesday we read a special portion of the week. If this fast day ended up on that date, then we actually push away those portions and we read specifically the portion of the tainus of this fast day. When we say even the reading of Eichal, the special portion for fasting, even when there were only 3 people that are fasting in the room, as long as there's obviously a minyan. And then we do a special maftir only by mincha for the person who's called up last and not by shachris. We call up 3 people, both by shachris and by mincha, but just by mincha, the 3rd person also reads the Dirshu Hashem B'Motzei. He reads the special portion for Haftorah. We do not read. We do not call up, for the Torah reading, only a person who has fasted. And we hope and we trust that, we don't want to point at things. Do you fast, right? But, in Chabad also in general, we try to have merit in another Jew, especially Jewish people. That come into the Chabad house and are trying to do the right thing. So we try to have merit in any person, but especially in these cases where they have a commandment to do, we don't want to judge them. And therefore we hope and pray that they did fast, and we could call them up. But the point is, you can only call up those that fasted. If you know specifically that a person says, I didn't fast, then you can't call them up. And he says like this: if a person you end up calling up didn't fast, on the Shachris, on the morning one of a Tuesday, of a Monday and Thursday, he could go up. Because either way they would call him up, because even if it wasn't a fast day, they would call him up. But on a Mincha or a Shachris of other days that are not Monday and Thursday, he shouldn't go up because it was specifically for the fast. Says the Shulchan Aruch that those that are lenient. and they still will call him up. And therefore we say, if he doesn't feel bad to have to say, I'm not fasting, he should actually go up if he knows this law and he doesn't want to have to say that I'm not fasting. And he'll feel uncomfortable. He should go up anyway, even though we say usually for regular days of the week that are not days of reading, and the fast fell on those days, he shouldn't be called up. He should still go up because it's not nice for him. When do we say that whoever didn't fast shouldn't go up specifically for calling up to the Torah? But raising the Torah, when we have to close it up, or closing it up, you could even give the person who didn't fast that opportunity. At the time of reading the Torah for the fast day, everyone together says together these psukim, Shuv mecharon apecha, and also Hashem kel rachum, and then V'salachta lavinenu. So when everyone reads it together while the rabbi or the cantor is reading it in the Torah, after everyone reads it, then he repeats it. The person who's reading repeats it in a loud voice, and as usual, when a person gets called up, he should read with the person reading quietly. Any questions? We're gonna conclude shortly because we had a few unfortunate glitches and time is running out. But I would just like to mention another thing which is very important, and we'll end with that. I guess we could end the whole part. I guess we could end the part of Tainus. It's not too much longer. I see we're still live there, and we're still live there. Thank God it's still working. The Tainus Esther on a fast day before Mincha. Sorry, on the fast day of Esther, the Lefnei Mincha. Before Mincha, what do we do? We give 3 coins that are called a machzis, a half. We consider a half in that place and in that time. For example, the chatzi shekel in Eretz Yisrael is called chatzi. It's called a half. Chatzi dollar or half a dollar in USA. The chatzi franc in France. And this is a commemoration for that half a shekel that they would give in Adar, like we mentioned. That's why we read it. That's why we read it this week. That they would give. They were called to give the first of the month of Adar for the karbanis, for the special sacrifices, because we want to commemorate that, and we want to actually, we say action speaks louder than words, and it's important to commemorate it in action. The same way we pray to commemorate the karbanot, the special sacrifices. In this case, we are meant to, the rabbis commemorate that, want us to actually give these halves, even though we don't have the exact half that they had then. Therefore, it's the half that is in your country you should give, and therefore we have special silver dollars, half a dollars, of the United States of America. We have special in our congregation. We have 2 sets actually, thanks to 2 kind donors, Alan Latke, and they cost a lot of money because they're the equivalent of silver. So they're equivalent of some perhaps even up to $50 or more per set, which is a lot of money. And we have 2 sets like that, and also thanks to our affiliates, to make it easier for people to be able to do the mitzvah, so you shouldn't have to wait for others to do it. And the way it's going to work is like this. He says, okay, so he says further, if there are those that don't have this half concept, so the gabbai, the person in charge, puts a special plate, like in our case. It's not around. Half a shekel is always around in Israel. It's very common there. And even then, I think people are more careful and they try to, because it doesn't have an equivalent really anymore. It's not like the half a shekel of the day. So therefore, they use even half a dollars that are silver, if I remember correctly. But because, for example, here in the United States, we don't have, it's not around. You could buy them on eBay. You could buy them on special websites, and you pay money for them because they have they're extinct, like we would say. So what do? The gabbai, the person in charge of the shul, he puts these 3 coins in a plate, and everyone's going to come, and that's what we do. That's why we have two sets. Each person comes and puts in their own money instead of those monies. And what does he do? He receives those special coins, silver coins, by lifting them up, and then he puts them back into the dish. Meaning, so he doesn't take them, but by lifting them up, it became like his, and then when he puts it down, it's like he put in the real machzah shekel. But in order to fulfill the mitzvah properly, you give charity as well with it. So it shouldn't just be sentimental that you lifted it up, it's like it's yours and you gave it, but you actually also gave tzedakah instead of it. That is its equivalent. And that's what we do. So we have on the day of Mincha, on the day of the fast day of Esther, even on Purim too, you could do it, if those that didn't do it on the fast day, but it will be here from the fast day all the way on Purim. If those that need to do it, we will have that plate. People could know that it's all being contributions towards the Chabad Farsos North activities, whether it's for the Purim events, for the Pesach events, for throughout the year, you decide. And the point is that those coins will be there, and each one will be able to raise them and make them like theirs, and then give them back and be able to fulfill this special mitzvah of giving half coins like they did in the time of the Beis HaMikdash, in the time of the temple. And instead of that, they will put an amount of worth towards this contribution in the plate, like tzedakah, charity, which will go for furthering activities. We say a katan, a young child, is not obligated in the machzah shekel in giving this. If his father gave for him once, then he's obligated forever. So once his father did it for him, then it becomes like a must that he has to do it. A 13-year-old, so that was about a child. A 13-year-old, some say he is obligated, and some say he has to be 20, like the requirements of the day. And there are those that say that even though even young children are not obligated, nevertheless the custom is to give for the young children even, and that's what that's what we do. That's what he says. There are those that say that even young children are not obligated. That even though the young children are not obligated, nevertheless the minig is to also give for them. The nashim, women, are not obligated in the machzah shekel in this mitzvah. There are nevertheless still those that will say they are. And we see by the Rebbes, it was to give, he would give for his wife, for the Rebbetzin. So that's the way we'd go. On Tainus Esther at Mincha time, Tainus Esther, the fast of Esther by Mincha, we do not say Tachnun, and we don't say Ovenu Malkeinu, even though it's a fast day, which usually you do say, but because it's leading into Purim, you do not say these things. But if the fast was early, meaning to say that the fast day was pushed earlier because of, like we said, Shabbos in between. Sunday was Purim, and we pushed it off to Thursday. So then on that Thursday, after the fast ends, meaning while the fast is during Mincha of Thursday, you would stay because Purim is not right away. Friday is still Friday and Shabbos, and then only Purim comes Sunday. Shechol Erev Purim, when Erev Purim falls out, the eve of Purim on Shabbos, meaning to say that Purim is on Saturday night, Sunday, you do not say by mincha tzidkas chatzedek for the same price, like we said over here. That's the mincha before Purim. You do not say tachnun. So it's customary in numerous congregations that the rabbi says words of of inspiration to inspire the Jewish people, the community to be aroused and do tshuva on a fast day, on the day of the fast day after mincha time, in order to arouse everyone to do tshuva. Wherever it's possible, it makes sense to let everyone know to do that. At least someone should, the rabbi should mention, or someone should say a few words of important words of to arouse people to be better and to do the right thing. Or they should say at least words of Tehillim, which is connected with these concepts of tshuva, of repentance. But in places where everyone's rushing and it's getting late maybe, and it's going to make people wait, and it's not the type of place that's possible. At least the people should think. These people should think of the ways that they should be aroused to do tshuva. We're going to end here. We thank you all for listening and watching. All our viewers and anyone who has questions, please ask. We're holding by Purim, the actual day of Purim, which probably we all anticipated and we hope to even learn about today. Unfortunately, we're going to stop here. Or fortunately, however you want to look at it, because we're going to learn more. This coming week, we still have a few more lessons, so we have enough time to finish the laws. And these are the laws of Purim, which we're right now holding by, the actual laws of Purim itself, the day itself. I just wanted to mention that this Shabbos, with kind sponsorship of $200 from Shaked Paz and his family, we will be having a Kiddush on Shabbos morning, a nice Kiddush in memory of his father, Moshe ben Yitzchak, in honor of the Shleishim, 30 days since his passing, which is important. Another level of the neshama going higher, and it's very important to celebrate with community and friends and talk about his neshama and who he was and what he exemplified. So we thank Shaked for his kind sponsorship and for doing it together with us and bringing the community together for this special occasion. And may the neshama have an aliyah. That's this Shabbos, and it's a special Shabbos, as is, like we mentioned this week, so the new month of second month of Adar. It's the month of joy, the month of Purim, obviously the month going into Pesach, like we mentioned. It's the Shabbos that we read this special portion about the Shkolim. It tells us so much, like we mentioned previously, about the half. Each one had to bring a half a coin that each one brought represents, each one is a half, and together we are a whole. It tells us a lot about who we are as Jewish people, and when we come together, how we are one. And it's a very important lesson, a very special portion, and for what it went for, especially for the contributions for the temple. Therefore, we're going to be reading that special portion this Shabbos. A second Torah is going to be removed from the ark at the beginning of Torah reading. 2 Torahs are going to be pulled out, which is very special and very exciting, and it will give us the opportunity also to give people extra honors, etc. So please come for Shabbos. We need you for the minyan as well, men, women, and children. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be nice. It's going to be really, really inspiring. And we'll continue learning and davening and enjoying together then. That's this Shabbos. March 1st, which is this Friday night, just tomorrow night, we have a beautiful Shabbos dinner in honor of this new month of Adar, in honor of celebrating Shabbos and keeping Shabbos holy. And we say through keeping one Shabbos, Mashiach will come if we all do it, and if we all take it upon ourselves, just even that one Shabbos. And it's a good way to start getting used to keeping Shabbos. This Shabbos, many organizations, many shuls are celebrating Shabbos together with dinners and gatherings, and therefore here at Chabad, because of the special time, it is also a new month of Adar, and the Parsha Shkolim and everything that's in between. Therefore, we're going to have this special Shabbos dinner. RSVP has already closed. If there's anyone in a situation where they still need us to be there for them because they were delayed, please let us know. You can call us right away or text us right away, even if it means first thing tomorrow morning. Here at Chabad, we are ready for any any last minute thing, even though we don't recommend it. So just let us know. We want to thank Chaya for all her hard work preparing the Shabbos. It's going to be a beautiful Shabbos dinner. Thank you all for who RSVP'd and we can't wait to see you together tomorrow night. Friday night, the doors open at 7:30. If I'm not mistaken, we are going to be starting the Shabbos meal with a beautiful meal singing words of wisdom, a full course meal and dessert. And the main thing is the community, good people, special people that we are surrounded by, and we thank them. We thank you all very much, and we are blessed. So that's just about this Shabbos. So please, and a comment for the minyan. If we haven't enough people, we could do a mincha ma'ariv also Friday night. You could let us know about that. But definitely Shabbos morning, please come on time. Please bring your friend for this special Shabbos occasion, blessing the new month and the special Torah reading. And celebrate, and also in memory of and of course in memory of Moshe ben Yitzchak, of blessed memory. So let's really unite together, and don't forget about Purim, March 20 and 21st. It's advertised. We will be advertising it again. RSVP is required and in advance. It's only $15. Very, very, very cheap. Contributions are welcome to cover costs, because costs are going to be majorly expensive. We have amazing entertainment lined up. We're going to keep on updating you about everything. It's going to be Purim in the Persian Palace. It's going to be really exciting. It's going to be really, really nice. And we always have a nice crowd. We always have an amazing time. So please, just everyone, be considerate and RSVP in advance. Contributions, please, if you can, to help out. And it's all online, and that's the only way we're doing RSVP. Please, no calls, no texts. Go straight to the link on the website. It's there, and RSVP. If you have any other questions or problems or issues or whatever it is, just reach out to us. We're always there for you. Thank you very much. And thank you all for those who are helping also for our Purim, the committee. You know who you are, the Kiddush committee, the Purim committee. We thank you all very, very much. Have a good Shabbos. See you all Shabbos. And thank you all for watching. We are going to go over and out right now, and have a good night.